A nasty discovery leads to several people being forced from their Lexington homes overnight.
A water main break in Lexington sends water spewing 30 feet into the air over a busy street, closing the road for hours.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting. We are learning more today about a deadly stabbing in southeastern Kentucky.
Police say last week Jessica Hubbard stabbed Don Woolham during a fight in Barberville. WKYT's Phil Pendleton was in the courtroom as police laid out their evidence against Hubbard. It's our top story at 4:30.
Jessica Hubbard is charged with murder because police say she stabbed Don Woolham and he died. There was some question today during the court hearing over whether this simply was an act of self-defense, but police say their witnesses tell them that Hubbard was the aggressor. Detective Steve Owen says it all happened a week ago today. Police were first called to an area near Legion Park where they found 38-year-old Don Woolham. He and his girlfriend had driven there after police say 34-year-old Jessica Hubbard stabbed him. Woolham later died at a local hospital. The stabbing happened outside Brock's Auto Repair about a half-mile away after several had seen Woolham and his girlfriend arguing there. Police say 911 calls told them that the woman was seen stabbing a man there. During a jailhouse interview last week, Hubbard said she intervened because Woolham was arguing in front of some small children and she was simply defending herself against him. But police testified that witnesses told them otherwise.
And what he had told me is that he saw Jessica Hubbard come running from the apartment with a knife in hand and ran up and stabbed the victim.
And we're learning more about the victim in this case, Don Woolham. His fiancee and numerous other relatives filled the courtroom. We'll tell you more about what they had to say about all of this at 5:30. But for now, in Knox County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Despite an argument from the defense attorney claiming the stabbing was in self-defense, the judge said he found probable cause and sent the case to the grand jury. You are soon going to see or feel a September-like feel to the air moving into the bluegrass, and that cooler air is going to be sticking around for the rest of our week.
Sounds like fall football weather, doesn't it? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey on when we might see some scattered showers or storms lingering. Chris?
Yeah, Sam, you had me at fall football, my man. All right, we're getting close to that time of the year, and it's certainly going to feel the part over the next couple of days. And yes, an isolated rumble of thunder possibility for some of us this evening. Temperatures this afternoon not bad at all. Into the low 80s ahead of our next push of cooler air that arrives over the next few days. Here's what Defender is tracking. You want to see the definition of isolated? This is what you're seeing on our radar as of now, where you get one little shower thunderstorm, very, very isolated in nature. And into northern parts of Lexington right now, cruising out of the Georgetown area, just to the east of the Horse Park. That'll cruise across 27 into parts of Bourbon County. Coming up here in the next little bit, we've got our live sky cam trained in that direction. Not the biggest shower in the world, folks. That really may dampen about 2 yards as it makes its way into Bourbon County. Southeastern Kentucky showers, thunderstorms here have been a little more common today, but a lot of this stuff is also now in the process of winding down as that cooler, drier air from the north starts to take over, and that means some good weather this evening. Isolated shower thunderstorm. Look at that temperature drop as the drier air begins to filter on in. By late this evening, we start to drop it into the upper 60s as that September air moves in. And when I come back in a few minutes, we'll take a look at the extended forecast that includes your weekend, and temperatures will try to get back toward the normal mark, guys. 7-day outlook coming up in just a few.
Chris, thank you. The gunmen behind an early morning shooting in Lexington are still on the run. Police had multiple reports of shots being fired on Haggard Court near North Broadway and I-75. Police found a man with a gunshot wound to the leg behind the red roof in there. They did recover some shell casings at the scene. People in the area were also giving police a limited description of the shooters. A Kentucky teenager is fighting for his life after he was hit by a train. It happened yesterday in Elizabethtown. Witnesses tell investigators that the boy was walking on the tracks with headphones on when the train hit him. At least one driver who saw what was about to happen honked his horn to try and warn the teenager, but the boy did not hear it. He was flown to a Louisville hospital with severe head trauma. The railway was shut down for a while, but has since reopened.
Today, a judge ruled a Lexington murder suspect is competent to stand trial. Corey Etherington is accused of killing 87-year-old John Tully last summer at an apartment on Appian Way. Etherington and Tully were roommates. Police say Tully was severely beaten and was rushed to the hospital where he died. They say his injuries were consistent with being struck by a hammer. While in jail, the Fayette County Detention Center says that Etherington attacked two corrections officers. The police chief in Carrollton, along with one of his officers, has been indicted by a grand jury. Chief Michael Wilhoit and another officer have been charged with complicity to commit kidnapping, custodial interference, and official misconduct. Investigators say the two men unlawfully restrained a mentally disabled inmate, took him to Louisville, and put him on a bus to Florida. Investigators say a judge had ordered the inmate be taken to Eastern State Hospital.
It could be days before people living in one Lexington apartment building are allowed back into their homes. They were forced out overnight because of a raw sewage leak. All the units at the Fairway Apartments on Pimlico Parkway were evacuated last night. It's not clear what caused that sewage to back up, but firefighters were able to isolate the problem to the ground floor. People living in two of the apartments were not allowed to go back inside. It was water, and a lot of it, that left a mess along a busy Lexington road.
Police have now reopened Stone Road near Pasadena Drive after a water main break closed the street for hours. As WKYT's Mark Barber shows us, the break sent water shooting 30 feet into the air.
The woman who lives across the street from the water line break says the gushing water was so loud she thought a rainstorm was passing by. She tells me that it wasn't until about 5:30 when she stepped out of her door this morning that she realized that the water was shooting up out of the ground, over the street, and into her yard.
It's a lot of water coming out. Luckily, school doesn't start today.
The large water spout shoots up about 30 feet.
You can tell that it's going to impact the traffic quite a bit.
The normally busy Stone Road was closed for hours, and those who live nearby are without water. Crews are working to figure out what caused the water to break through a 12-inch hole in the water main.
It looks like a glacier or something. I don't know. It's just like a tremendous amount of water coming out of the ground, and it's hitting the power lines.
It is a mess, but neighbors say it's not enough to dampen their day.
It hasn't impacted any of the houses around here. It's kind of downhill, and we're kind of up a little bit, and there's a major sewer drain right there, so that worked out really good.
Crews are putting chemical agents onto the street. They say the water that spilled onto the road here is now going to filter into streams in the area. They say the chemicals that they're putting onto the street will keep that water from harming anything in those streams. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Kentucky American Water tells us the water has been turned back on.